Hello there folks, and welcome back to my channel. I am the Lone Adventurer, and today we're going to be playing through the Hall of the Dwarven King, which is a print and play solo game by a chap called Robin Gibson from Metal Snail Games, and you can get this game through itch.io and I believe also through P&P Arcade. I'll leave a couple of links in the description below. I picked this game up quite a while ago but never actually got around to playing it, which is not uncommon. I've got a lot of games printed out and squirreled away on my computer hard drive that I haven't played, but this one has intrigued me for quite a while, and I had a go at playing it yesterday. This is my sheet from my previous playthrough, and I have to say I really enjoyed it. It was super easy to pick up, very enjoyable to play through. These here, believe it or not, are the entire rules for the game. Now, when I read through these rules, they did leave me a smidge confused, and I ended up reading a few comments on the itch.io page for this game just to clarify a couple of points. But once you start playing the game, it very quickly becomes clear what you need to do in order to play the game successfully. Now, it says here that a first time goal to aim for is 90 points. Now, I don't mean to brag, but I got 219 points. The caveat on that is that I built on this row of my mine before I was allowed to, so probably there's a few points there that I shouldn't have got, and I've got a nasty feeling that maybe I took perhaps a go more than I should have done, losing track of the number of turns that I'd taken, but I still got a pretty good score nonetheless. So now I'm going to play on camera, and I would imagine score less than that. I do have a feeling that I was a bit lucky in that game, but we'll see. Maybe I'm going to smash it out of the park and get a really awesome score. Seems unlikely though. Hall of the Dwarven King is played with 7 dice. You roll the 7 dice. Each of those dice represents a dwarf in your dwarven retinue, I guess, as a Dwarven King. Each of the numbers from 1 to 6 gets your dwarf to do a specific job. So you roll the dice. You can re-roll some of the dice if you wish. You go through the different dwarves. You perform the different actions. And you do that 20 times, and then the game is over. We've got a little timer over here, some little sand timers, and you cross one off at the end of each round. And also over here we've got some crowns. At a certain point you might be able to build a throne room. When you build a throne room, you start tracking the number of rounds it has been since you built that throne room. So at the end of every round after you build the throne room, you colour in a crown, and that gets you points at the end. It's not the only thing that gets you points at the end. You can also get points for building statues. You can get points for building vaults. You can get points for mining, digging deeper and deeper through the mountain, I guess. And whenever you dig past one of these gem symbols, you get some points. You also get points for your throne room. We've mentioned that already. And 2 of the dwarf types also net you points. If you roll 1s, those are fighting dwarves. And fighting dwarves get you 3 points if you have a pair of them. So 2 1s will get you 3 points. But if you end up with a single fighting dwarf, they get you no points, and you lose one of your other dice. when you roll 2s, that gets you drinking dwarves, and drinking dwarves also get you points. So there you go, lots of ways to get points. So I think what I'll do is I'll just run through the other dwarf types. So we've done 1, those are your fighting dwarves. We've done 2, those are your drinking dwarves. I don't really know why I'm lining the dice up. I'm pretty confident you know what these numbers look like on a dice. 3s are cooking dwarves, and their only purpose is obviously to provide food and sustenance for the other dwarves that are busy doing work. So really these first 3 dwarves, your fighting, your drinking and your cooking dwarves, they're sort of your lesser dwarves. 1s and 2s, yes, they net you points, but really those are dwarves that are fighting and drinking and not really performing a higher dwarven purpose. 3s are the cooking dwarves, and you have to have a cooking dwarf, otherwise your other dwarves, they won't get any food and they won't be able to do anything for you. 4s are digging dwarves, and digging dwarves allow you to burrow deeper and deeper into the mountain, as we said before. 5s are building dwarves, and they allow you to build various structures within the mountainside that will help you increase the number of points that you score at the end of your game. And 6s are mining dwarves. As you're going down, one of the things you can build is mines. One of the things you can build are mines. And when you've got those mines, you can set your mining dwarves to work on mining them to actually find stuff in those mines. Right, so with all that said and done, I think it's time to make a start. So we're going to roll the dice, hopefully get some good dwarves to get us started, and then see how it goes. Alright, cool. So we've got a 3. That is our cooking dwarf. The issue we've got here is we've got no digging dwarves, which are 4s. And the problem is you can only build on a row when that row has been excavated. So in your first round you have to have a 4 in order to be successful. So I'm loving all these 5s allowing me to build, but unfortunately I'm going to have to re-roll, and I think I'm going to re-roll all of them because you've got to get a 4. It's absolutely essential. Now if you want to re-roll your dice, you have to lose one of them. So we're going to lose that one there, and then we're going to re-roll all of them and hope for a 4. Oh, no 4. That's very disappointing. Almost a disaster, I would say. We're going to have to do it again. We've got to have a 4. Oh, this is flipping annoying. There we go. We've got our 4. And we've got a 6, which is actually not really doing us much good because we haven't built a mine yet. Already this isn't going as well as the last time I played. So we're going to discard another dice. We're going to re-roll that. Hope for something good. Okay, that could have been worse. But not amazing. Not an amazing start at all. So we've got our cooking dwarf. That cooking dwarf allows our other dwarves to act. Without that cooking dwarf, the other dwarves would not be able to do anything at all. And our other dwarves, 4s, are digging dwarves. So each one is going to dig down 1 level. So there we go. That's our first 2 levels dug. So not a particularly eventful first turn, but at least we've got a couple of levels dug. Let's move on. Right, that's good because we've got our cooking dwarf straight off. We've got a building dwarf. I think I'm going to discard because what I really want here is another 5, because the buildings, the cost of even the cheapest building is 2, which means I would need 2 dwarves in order to build even the least expensive building. So I've got to go for another 5 really. That's not a 5. That's very disappointing. This is not going well. Ah, thank God. Right, there we go. And a 2 would be a drinking dwarf. So let's have a look. We've got 1 drinking dwarf. And drinking dwarves score you a single point. So I'm going to start recording my points over here. So this is my points for drinking dwarves. And I've got 1 point. Cooking dwarves allow the other dwarves to act. And then we've got 4, which is our digging dwarf. They're going to go down another level. So that means we can now build on all 3 rows of this depth of the mine. And so we've got 5 depths. We've got depth 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And each depth has an associated gold value, which grows significantly the deeper you go down. And that sort of means that when you mine, you're going to find more gold the deeper you go. But anyway, our depth 1 is now fully excavated, and we've got 2 5s. And that allows me to build 4 possible buildings. However, one of them, the statue, requires 5 gold, and I haven't found any gold yet. I haven't mined any gold yet. So I could build a mine. I could build a still, which doubles the points from 1 drinking dwarf per turn, or I could build a tavern, which allows you to re-roll dice 1 time for free without discarding a dice, and that is pretty useful. So I think I'm going to go ahead and build the tavern. Alright, so that was the end of that round, that turn. Right, got our cooking dwarf. Let's keep digging. I'm going to use 1 digger there, and I think, because we've got the tavern, we can re-roll everything. So do you know what? Do I want to dig? How badly do I want to dig? Yeah, I do want to dig. Let's re-roll everything else. Remember, this is because of the tavern giving us 1 free re-roll. Lots of 4s. Let's have 1 more. I'm going to discard a dice to allow me to re-roll again. These are not the things that I want. It's no good, because 6 is mine, and mining dwarves, and I don't have a mine yet. That's really, really disappointing. Okay, so all we can do is 2 digs. But at least that opens up this next level. So when I do get a mine, I can build the mine here. And if dwarves successfully mine in my mine, they get 3 gold. Whereas if the mine was up here, they would only get 1 gold. So that's good, although it does feel like this is not the most exciting opening to the game. But hopefully it will warm up. Here we go. Oh, okay, let's keep that 5, and I think I'm going to re-roll everything else. Okay, so we've got our 3, we've got our cook, we've got 1 5, 1 building dwarf, and I think I've got to re-roll everything else. I could keep digging down, but I feel like the thing we need now is to build some stuff. That's really annoying. Okay, alright, at least we can build a mine now, so that's a bit of a relief. Okay, and dig down. So a bit of digging, a bit of mine building, so it could be worse. So the 4 will allow us to dig, so we'll go down a little bit deeper. And the 2 5s we're going to use to build a mine, and we're going to build the mine down here. It's my little mine cart. Okay, so now we can start earning some gold, and it does feel like that should have happened quicker. So that's the end of our 4th round. So after this round will be 1/4 of the way through the game. Right. We've got 2 5s, so we can do some more building. And I think we're going to re-roll everything else thanks to our tavern. 2 6s. Interesting. I'm going to have those. Spoiler alert, I'm going to build another mine. And we need to re-roll these, because if we kept this one, we'd have to discard this one anyway. Because if you remember, 1s are fighting dwarves, and fighting dwarves have to come in pairs, or they force you to discard another dice. So we'll get rid of that in order to perform a re-roll. Whoops. 3, that's no good at all. Okay, because you only need 1 cooking dwarf. Alright, so we've got 2 5s. And we're going to use that to build another mine. We're going to have a second mine here. So we've got 2 5s and 2 6s. So the way mining dwarves work is you assign 1 to each of your mines. So those are my 2 mines there. And then you re-roll each dice in turn. And what you're trying to do is roll greater than the depth of that mine. So I'm going to roll these. And if I get more than a 2, then they'll earn me 3 gold. So that one earning me 3 gold. And that one not earning me 3 gold. That's disappointing. So the first one gets me 3 gold. So gold is tracked in this area here. Each one of these rectangles represents 5 gold. So I have shaded in 3/5 of that one to show that I've got 3 gold. It's the end of the round. Start of a new round. Got our cook, got our miner. I'm going to re-roll everything else as a result of the tavern. Oh, we've got a couple of 5s there. I think I'm going to re-roll everything else. Hope for something good. Oh, that's exactly what I wanted. So that 3 is going to waste, which is a shame because you only need 1 cook and you can't re-roll 1 dice because you have to discard a dice to re-roll. Now, I've got 3 5s, which gives me a building cost limit of 3, which opens up these next set of buildings for me, and I know which one I'm going to go for, but I'll just tell you what they all are. First one is the arena. That doubles the points from 1 pair of fighting dwarves per turn. The next one is the gaming den. That allows you a re-roll, so that's exactly the same effect as the tavern. And then you've got the blacksmith, which doubles the effect from 1 digging dwarf per turn, and the carpenter, which doubles the effect of 1 building dwarf per turn. And I think I want one of those. Do I want to dig quicker or do I want to build quicker? And I think I want to build quicker. So I'm going to draw a little hammer, and that cost me 3. And I've got 1 miner. So let's give him a go. Lovely, he's getting me 3 gold, which brings me up to a total of 6 gold. So that means that theoretically I can build a statue, or I can build a vault and start earning points using those things. Okay, so that's the end of round number 6, turn number 6. Ah, good, we have got a cook. I think probably it's time to dig down a little bit. It would be nice. Do we want to build something? What would we be building right now? Do you know what? Maybe. Okay, no. Let's keep that and possibly build something, and re-roll the rest. Good. Okay. Dig down a bit, I suppose, and then re-roll these ones. Oh, look at that, and a nice little miner as a bonus there. Right, so we're going to be digging down 1 level, And that opens up a new row here for us. Oh no, so I've got 2, haven't I? So that's 1, 2, and notice that when I shade in this one, I am covering up, or discovering rather, this gem. And the way gems work is you roll 1d6 and you get that many points. 4. I've got 2 5s, but if you remember, I have now got a carpenter, and that doubles the effect of 1 building dwarf. So this one is now worth 2, and this one is still worth 1, which gives me a total of 3. So I could go ahead and get a blacksmith, and the blacksmith doubles the effect of 1 digging dwarf per turn, and that allows you to really speed up your digging down into the depths of the mines. So I think I'm going to do that. Pop that over here. Don't think it really matters where you place things particularly, or at least most things. Some things matter. The blacksmith, it doesn't matter where you put it. Alright, and we've got 1 miner. So let's see how that miner does. Lovely, a 3 is greater than our current depth, or the depth of that mine, which is depth 2. So that means I'm going to get the gold from that mine, and we get 3 gold, because that's how much gold you get at this depth. Alright, so that's the end of round 7. Oh, it's nice that we are always rolling our cooking dwarf quite early on, it feels. So no complaints there. I'm going to keep those and do a decent amount of mining. Am I going to keep both of them? I think I'm only going to keep 1. Because really what I want here is to get some diggers and maybe some builders as well, but I want to power down to this next level so I can start building mines that will get me 6 gold. Oh, but you can't say no to 3 5s. That's interesting. That would allow me to build a vault, possibly not a mushroom farm. Mushroom farms allow you to take actions at this depth without a cook. Well, I could do that, but really I'd want to build a mushroom farm on the level I've just opened up so that my diggers could dig without a cook. Now what else have I got there? 2 6s. Do I want to re-roll those? No, you know what? I'm going to re-roll just to live life on the edge. 2, shouldn't have done it. Okay. Right, so my 2 is a drinking dwarf, that gets me 1 point. Got 3 5s, which means, because if you remember, one of these digging dwarves is worth 2, so there's a total of 4 points of digging dwarf there. And I think I will use those to build a... Do I want to build a vault, or do I want to build a gaming den, which allows another reroll? Or do I want to build my first statue? I didn't score a lot of points with statues in the last game, but then I didn't build many of them. So statues are worth 1 point per statue. So if you have 1 statue, that 1 statue is worth 1 point. If you had 2 statues, each of those statues would be worth 2 points. If you had 5 statues, each of those statues would be worth 5 points. So I guess you've got to really commit to doing statues. I think I will. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to start building statues. Bit of a shonky statue, but there we go. So that's cost me 5 gold, and I've crossed out one of those little sections of 5 to show that. So at the moment, at the end of the game, that statue is going to get me 1 point, which is not much. But hopefully, if I build more, that will increase. So that's the end of go 8. So I think we'll do 2 more, and then we'll take a little break and come back in a second video to finish things up. There's my good old cooking dwarf. Ah, there we go. Great. So that digging dwarf will get me down to there. But the problem is that's not going to allow me to build on this row. If you can see, I need to go down 3 sections into depth 3 before I fully excavate this first row. So I really want another 4, so I'm going to re-roll everything. There's another 4, so that is only, I just remembered, only the blacksmith only doubles the effect of 1 digging dwarf per turn. So that is still only going to get me down to there, so I'm not there yet. Plus these are all fairly useless. Okay, this hasn't, I think I may have messed this round up, this turn up a little bit. Oh, we've got a miner, there you go, there we go. Okay, could have been worse. So this first digger is going to take us down 2, because they are our blacksmith and they're better at digging. Next one takes us down 1 level. Then this builder has a value of 2 because of the fact that it's a carpenter. So could build a mine, a still, a tavern. Can't build a tavern though because you're only allowed 1 of those and we've already built one. So really I should sort of tick the tavern so I remember I've done that one. Or we could build another statue, but I can't build another statue because I've only got 4 gold. So really it's a mine or a still. And I've already got 2 mines at this level. Do I need another one? Not really. So let's build a still. Okay, so the still doubles the points from 1 drinking dwarf per turn. So if I'm ever left with a random 2, a drinking dwarf, then at least they score me a few extra points. Right, so going into turn number 10, and we'll be halfway through. That's a bit rubbish. We definitely want to do some digging. Otherwise, let's re-roll because we need that cooking dwarf, that 3. Oh, there's no cooking dwarf. Oh, and all those 5s, all those sweet, sweet 5s. I think I'm going to have to re-roll everything. No cooking dwarf. Oh, this is a disaster. There we go. Man. Now in order to re-roll these dice I've got to discard 1, so I only got 1 more dice to roll. Oh. Well, what an anticlimax. What a disappointing way to end this half of the game. Because a single fighting dwarf forces you to discard another dwarf. So I can either discard my cook, which means that my digger can't do anything, or I can discard my digger, which means my cook hasn't got a dwarf to cook for. So I guess I'll discard that. My digger goes unfed, and we didn't get to do anything in this round. How rubbish is that? So I think that I'm not going to beat my previous score. That's my instinct. I feel like I had a lot more going on when I was halfway through my last game. But we'll see. Who knows? Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more just like it, please do subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification icon, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye for now.